stuff. And, according to the according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, HPV is the most commonly STD. I mean, it's just commonly transmitted STD in the U.S. and affects 79 million Americans. And this statistic is from June 6th of 2019. So Whoa. This is like 2 minutes ago. Right. So this isn't like, because when you look up a lot of like sexually transmitted diseases and STIs, sexually transmitted infections, you look at it's so much of the data is so outdated. Like you're pulling up articles and you're reading about it. Like when we were kind of prepping for the show, it was like, well, fuck, that's from 2011. I don't give a crap about what was going on in 2011. I want to know what's going on here.
That was 8 years ago. It's just crazy. Yeah, we read a lot about this stuff, and it's like, what's happening? Like, you can hit stats 2019, but they're still going to show up like, oh, well, this is what happened in 2015. It's like, that's not what I asked for.
Well, I'm fine with looking at 2015 if I know what 2019 is so that I can see the percentage of growth or non-growth, right? I mean, so Marsha Cross from Desperate Housewives told us that, not us, yes, you and me, hard point interview with her. That she was able to get through her diagnosis with the help of a group of her girlfriends whom she called, wait for it, her anal angels.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, girl. Like, you're so desperate to be a housewife.
Hella desperate. Come gather around, angel anuses. Come on now.
Come to me, my anal angels. Put on your wings and spread your cheeks.
That's very good.
I mean, the good news is both her and her husband are in remission, but I just think that it was a really interesting story that I found in regards to throat cancer and HPV and anal cancer. It was one freaking, like, hard-hitting freaking article. I was like, whoa.
It's pretty hard-hitting.
So, I mean, and another thing that, that's outside of, like, cancer, STDs can cause, infertility. They can, if you're pregnant, they can cause ectopic pregnancies. They can cause, well, obviously increased risk of HIV. But man, oh man, there are so many things that are antibiotic resistant, right? Yeah. So, and also, you can't get rid of viruses.
Nope. They stay with you forever.
They do, and that's the difference between an STD and an STI. Is the eye can get, you can take your, as John said, is that penicillin?
Yes. So
yes, John, it's penicillin.
You would basically treat an STI as you would anything, like, like a little tablet across the counter or whatever, obviously prescribed by a doctor, and it goes away. It's a bacterial infection. Go back to science class, 4th grade, if you don't know what a bacterial infection is and a viral infection is. Again, Lyndsay kind of said it, viral, it doesn't go away. It stays in your system. A bacterial infection, it can go away treated with antibiotics. Now, what's crazy about, obviously, with getting multiple STIs is, like anything, you start to become a little resistant with antibiotics. Where literally the STI is like, you know what? I've seen this thing before. I can fight this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it stays with you longer.
Whoa, hold on. I'm sorry. I saw you last weekend. I'm good.
Wait a second. We already tried this thing. You beat me last week. I already gathered my troops. We got money more STIs back in my crib.
That's right. I'm sorry. I just bought the T-shirt from like Urban Outfitters. We're good.
Seriously though, like we're solid. We got this. So it's crazy how like STIs can become like that. Like anything else, I don't know. It's STIs, like I said, STIs, STDs, any kind of STDs, Ds, whatever.
STDs. That's what we're going to call them here on this show.
STDs. They freak me out. A lot of the stuff that I'm even looking at now, herpes, HPV, chlamydia. You hear that one thing about chlamydia that you joke about on the playground? Anyway, we did it when I was like, I want to be honest, like 8th grade, about chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not, they're scary words, and they're even scarier what I'm reading here. Like, I'm looking at young people. I'm not saying I'm speaking on behalf of the younger side of the group here on this side of the microphone, but like I'm looking at young people, they account for a substantial proportion of new STIs. 70% out of all young people ages 15 to 24, 70% out of 820,000 have gonorrhea.
Whoa, where are you getting that from?
This is from iwantoknow.org/statistics.
You are all about your .orgs.
And it's crazy. I love orgs because I feel like those are more trustworthy than .com.
I like .gov.
Really? Okay,
in regards
.gov.
to stuff like this.
.gov is good.
Org is going to be more philanthropic
I see.
and more about their mission. But if they're giving you references that are pulling back to like actual statistics that are done by studies, then by all means.
I'm telling you, it's crazy. 820,000 total infections. We're looking at, chlamydia, HPV. I mean, a lot of these young people, and a lot of them that, their biology is a huge, factor, insufficient screening, confidentiality. They don't want to talk with their partner about, hey, I have chlamydia.
Sure.
Oh, really? I got HPV. Oh, we should totally do this thing. They don't talk about that stuff. They just do it. Lack of access to healthcare, unfortunately. And you know what? A lot of my
get rid of Planned Parenthood immediately then.
I see your point. We'll talk about that later.
Well, we talked about this before we started the show.
I know.
About how you don't like Planned Parenthood because of the abortion side of it. And as we've talked about, it is statistically, it's about 3% of
I understand
the work that Planned Parenthood does. And I don't like the word work because whatever, but what Planned Parenthood does is like 3% of it. And please correct us if we're wrong on our stats, because we've got so many stats in front of us. Our brains are about ready to blow up. But if it's 3% of, so you're saying that 97% of what Planned Parenthood did is all about preventing pregnancies. It's all about screening for these things. It's all about providing free birth control. It's about, and I know that you don't like birth control from a religious standpoint, but that's your decision. When it comes to women that are trying to be completely safe and are poor, and they're in communities that they can't afford to go to an OBGYN because they don't have insurance, because our healthcare system is fucked. This is where they go. This is the mission of Planned Parenthood, is to make a safe spot for them to come in and be able to talk to somebody. I remember when I was in high school, I had this little boyfriend, and I don't even want to say little boyfriend. He was my high school sweetheart. He and his twin brother, they're just absolutely amazing. And it was like the three of us did everything together outside of sex. I'm pretty sure that his brother would probably have done a threesome with the two of us, but we were kind of young for that stuff. But nonetheless, we went in responsibly together, he and I, before we had sex with each other. We went to Planned Parenthood and we sat down with one of their counselors and we talked to them about sex, because I couldn't talk to my family about sex. That wasn't happening. His family was pretty cool, but I think that they were like, they would have been a little bit like apprehensive about it, but they totally knew that we were having sex, and they knew that we were being responsible about it. But the only reason that we were being responsible is because we went to Planned Parenthood, we sat down, we talked with somebody, and we walked out with every kind of informational brochure you could possibly imagine. And we walked out with bags full of condoms and birth control for 6 months. And the only thing we did was give a donation of $10. And that saved me from the very beginning. What it did is it taught me from the very beginning to be safe, to be smart, to think things through, to be educated. Now, did that follow through into my college years? Not as much. I mean, safety, yeah, but it's such an incredible organization for what they've done. Just me sitting here for what they've done. So I know, and I'm surprised that you didn't say get off your soapbox, because...
No, I'm listening to you.
I know you're listening to me.
I'm learning more about, and because again, when you're stuck in a religious bubble like I was, you're shoved down this huge thing, which, I struggle with Planned Parenthood a lot, and you hit it on the head. Yes, statistically 3%. I've heard other stats that you hear that are convoluted, whether it's 5%, 20%, 50%, all this other stuff. I'm at the point of like, I wish they would do all what you're kind of saying without the abortion. That's one. Or two, it just sucks that, and this is not shitting on Planned Parenthood, it just sucks that we need organizations like Planned Parenthood, because there's no education in our schools. We talked about this earlier.
Absolutely.
Where I wish we would talk about sex. Like I was very lucky in 5th grade. I don't know how it got out, but I just remember in that moment of like talking about STDs and STIs. And I just said, I don't want to have sex until I'm ready for it, until I'm ready to have a partner that I'm going to stay with. And this was a public school, by the way. It wasn't Catholic. It was completely public.
You were a total public school.
Yeah. And it's just crazy that I'm thinking right now, it's like, in that moment, in that teaching moment, I realized that's not what I'm doing. Now, is that the case for everybody in, I don't know, California, Los Angeles, I don't know, Phoenix, Arizona, Portland, Maine? I don't know.
I just ran statistics and somebody in Romania is listening to this podcast.
Hey, Romania, how are you doing?
Hi.
Hey, how are you out there? But no, seriously, though, like, I'm thinking about all this, and I'm like, you know, it sucks that we need, you know, organizations like Planned Parenthood to teach us about all this and to be safe. You know, I wish there was a world where we didn't have to worry about this, but there's just shit out there that, you know.
Well, I mean, it's totally naive to think that there isn't bad shit that's happening around us. And I'm not calling you naive. I'm just saying that when it comes down to this kind of shit, I totally believe in organizations that support women's health. And this is one of them. And I don't understand what the big fucking deal is about taking care of our vaginas and making sure that we don't get pregnant when we're 14. Like, oh my God, I don't understand it. I don't necessarily condone having sex at 14, but I am just saying, if you're going to go and you want to, and you've got all the feels, if you're going and being responsible and you're going to Planned Parenthood and you and your boyfriend, I will never forget it. He and I were sitting in the little waiting room and we thought we were going to die. Two of us were sitting there, like, I remember his leg was like bouncing up and down. You know how like you like do like the one knee thing. He was sitting there and we were holding hands, and it was like we were gonna like go into like some courtroom or something. And it was like, and they came in, they're like, "Hi, what are you guys here for today?" I'm like, what the hell else are we here for? We want to have sex and we need birth control. Because I was no way in shape or form going to ask my mom about it, because I didn't have that kind of relationship with her. I still don't have that kind of relationship with her, and I'm 41.
I'm still getting all... No, I'm not going to say that part. Never mind. As you were.
Oh, now I want to know.
Oh, I'm still getting all the religious books that she gives you from her. Oh. Those are amazing. I'm already on page 25 of like Jesus meets Joseph.
Oh my God. Jesus take the wheel. So my mom gives me all of these Jesus presents and I just give them to John and Kari.
And I'm like, oh, gimme. I love me some Jesus. It's kind of funny.
He comes in like 2 days ago and there's a book from my mom on his desk. He's like, is this another hand-me-down? I'm like, sure is, bitch.
Thank you. Thank you for the gift. Yeah. No, I'm hearing you 100%. You know, my heart goes out because I'm like, I just wish there was just a safer way to do all this, and that is talking with our kids. And, you know, it just sucks to hear, like, you know, with your family, your mom, you didn't have that relationship with your mom, and there was no way you're going to talk to her about this stuff. But, you know, I'm hoping, my prayer, and I'm not trying to get religious at all. It's just a figure.
No, you can say, I pray. I mean, dear Lord, I actually pray.
Praise God. My hope,
oh my God.
My hope and my prayer is that when I have kids, one day, God's willing, that I'm going to be able to talk with them about this. You know, obviously the girls talk with Kari and the guys talk with me, and I just want that. What? Well, I'm not trying to like segregate. Well, no, hold on. I'm not trying to segregate. Hold on.
Gong. That's right. Continue.
Okay. I'm not trying to segregate. That wasn't the point. I guess an openness to, I don't know if, you know, my daughter wants to talk to me about, you know, about that. And I feel like Kari would be the best. I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to have all what women have. I don't, you know. Now, should I not talk about sex with my daughter? Absolutely not. I think that, you know, we should. There should be a safe boundary. But I guess I'm always very respectful of, listen, I don't know how women operate. Kari knows how women operate because she's a woman. Same thing with guys. It's just, that's how I feel, vice versa. A lot of people may disagree and be like, well, yeah, I don't know if you disagree. I just how I feel at the moment. It could change, you know, it could change when I have kids. I don't know.
Well, yeah, for sure. And I think that, like, I was more comfortable talking with my dad about sex. And I still am. Like, I can talk to him about pretty much everything. I mean, not like pegging. Jesus God.
Imagine that, though. Hey, Dad.
Hey, what's going on? I have a quick question for you.
I want to totally do my boyfriend in the butthole. How do you do that?
And I actually have no desire to have that conversation with him or actually do the pegging part.
If that ever happens, let me know.
Oh, my God.
And I want to know how that goes. A full play-by-play between that conversation of you and your dad.
Oh, God. I'll never forget
just to
when
take notes.
My dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer many years ago. And we were at the John Wayne Airport, and we were flying somewhere together to whatever. And he was showing up with his diagnosis. And I knew he had been at the doctor's appointment, and I knew we were going to be flying together to wherever the fuck we were going. And I'm standing in line, like, at the checkout counter, and he ends up coming up behind me, and I just thought we were going to meet, like, behind the gates. But no, he ended up coming at the same time. He, like, taps me on the shoulder. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's going on? And I already knew, like, there was going to be a yay or a nay answer. Mm-hmm.